This interview is from February 29th, around 5 p.m. Jennifer is confronted about things she said in the Fox interview, among other things.
All right, the date is February 29th, 2024. Time is 5:09 p.m. We are at 4012 Santa Maria Drive. In reference to case number 24001809. It's myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and Jennifer Soto. So, to give you a little bit of what's happening now, there's a few other additional pieces of evidence that we're collecting at the time. Okay. Some of that evidence came from Stefan's phone. Okay. Some of the pictures that were on the phone. Okay. That we've identified belonging to Maddie as well. So clothing that she was wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. That's what we're collecting. Okay. Okay. We will leave you an evidence sheet to let you know what we took. Everything that we've taken from the house is in an evidence sheet that's going to be left here for you. Okay. It may take them a little bit because what they do is they take a picture of it, they collect it, go to the next one, take a picture of it, collect it. So it'll be a little bit, but it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday, and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke. Last night, I guess it would be. So I'm going to ask you to go through this again. Monday morning, when you were asleep, Stefan and Maddie were upstairs, and she's going to school. Run me through that morning again. How, like, you mentioned something about you hearing noises, and then you woke up. So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stefan Stearns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go," and trying to leash him up. I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him. Mm-hmm. You have to, like, talk to him nicely and, yeah. He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it, just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep. I think this was around, I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning, because I'm assuming, he's getting ready to take her to school, he's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen. I don't know who it could be. But yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stefan, could have been Maddie. Okay. Could have been one of my roommates.
When the deputies first talked to you, when you were reporting her missing,
yeah,
you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I saw. I know. I misremembered. I didn't see her. Okay. I wanted to believe I saw her, but I didn't.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
Okay.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it ready, so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home. Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it and see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's not. I remember asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stefan. Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
I was told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers I was hanging out with outside of work, who I said I was hanging out with, I was really having sex with her. Because I asked him, I'm like, did you have sex with her? Like, because you told me you were just hanging out. Did you have sex with her? And he admitted that he did. I think her name is Marielle, but I'm not sure what her last name would be.
Okay. Now, the relationship that you had with Stefan, you told me that you haven't had sex in a while.
Yeah.
When you guys were together and intimate with each other, it is maybe a little uncomfortable, but something that we have to discuss is when you guys were intimate with each other. A lot of people call it vanilla sex. Some people call it, whatever kind of sex you want to call it. How would you describe you and Stefan when you guys were intimate?
Pretty vanilla, I would say. Just missionary and oral, but nothing more than that. Missionary.
Okay. Has he ever asked you to perform a certain way or anything that you think would be out of the ordinary?
He's, I want to say he's joked around about wanting anal sex, and like, yeah, we should do that. We should try that. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, to me, his penis is average size but thick, and it hurts. So I don't want, even normal sex hurt to me. So I just didn't want to do it anymore, honestly.
Okay. Nothing other than that you think would be out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay. All right. So he is on medication. You told me he's on medication for insomnia. Can you say that right? Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And then I believe you said ADHD.
Yeah, and also anxiety meds, I think.
Anxiety, okay. Anything else that you can think of?
He did have, I think, a vial of, I'm not sure if it was Viagra or Cialis, but one or the other. I know he was having a hard time getting an erection or being able to enjoy getting off. And he ended up figuring out we couldn't figure out, he went to the doctors, tried to figure out why he was having these issues. They told him it must be something mental because physically his body's fine, should be acting normal.
Okay.
But we found out it was a side effect due to the Adderall medication he was on, and he was not able to enjoy himself sexually. Once he got off Adderall for a while and was able to enjoy himself again, I think there was no need for the Cialis or anything.
Gotcha.
Like that.
Okay. Would he ever talk to you about what kind of porn he liked watching or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Have you ever, quote unquote, watched porn with him or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, Maddie, what medication did she take?
She was on and anxiety medication. So that because she suffers from really bad GI issues, she's constantly constipated. What else? She had an asthma inhaler. She had an asthma inhaler. I can't think of any other meds she was on.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
The asthma, The asthma medication, yes. The asthma medication, yes. Goes to school, and the anxiety meds, we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
Normal.
Like, how does her body react?
Fine.
Okay.
No side effects, no nothing weird.
Okay. And she takes it in the morning or at night?
Or probably in the afternoon or evening time close to bed. We use it mostly for sleep aid. That would be given to her at night. The asthma medication was used, and the GI medication was given.
Okay. And then medication that you take?
Me?
Yeah.
I take brand name for bipolar medication. I take anxiety medication. I'm also prescribed I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient, so they give me some high doses of medications to keep my vitamins balanced. I think that's it.
Okay. All right, so going back to the morning that Stefan takes her to school, you said you think it's around 8 o'clock when you physically see Stefan messing with the dog?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. When Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like, where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay. Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom, right there, that little nook in the living room. All her clothes are there. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs, and she'll just dump it in the basket. But there is no basket there right now. She's been dumping everything on the floor. I think the basket is currently being used with clean clothes, so I just wanted to keep the clean clothes and dirty clothes separated. So dirty clothes are on the floor right now. What's in the basket should be like half clean, half dirty clothes, I think. Yeah.
Okay. When you go to sleep, when you were sleeping that night, was your door open or shut?
It is left cracked open.
Cracked open. Okay. Would you see or hear Maddie going to get changed?
I would say yes, but if I weren't deep asleep, and I think I was deep asleep because I didn't hear anything until Stefan came and woke me up to try to get the dog.
Okay, so he woke you up to help with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't hear tussling around or wrestling around in the kitchen that made you wake up to go help?
No. It was him. He came directly into my room and grabbed the dog, and I got up. I shot up to try to help him. It was until later that after that is when I heard rustling in the kitchen.
Okay. So he takes the dog out, took a potty or whatever it may be, and he comes back inside. Do you see him when he comes back inside?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember him leaving, saying bye to you or anything like that when he was taking Maddie to school?
I don't think so. I think at this point I was already back deep asleep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when he went to walk the dog and left, I fell right back asleep immediately.
Okay. Now, you go back to sleep. you wake up because you have a doctor appointment to go get blood drawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you told me your appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I think it was 10:15. Yes, it was at 10:15.
Okay. So you go to this appointment, and on your way back, did you talk to Stefan on the phone at all?
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen. I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well. It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
Okay. At what time did you and him meet back up here?
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, I'll say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
What did he say? What happened this morning?
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So, they were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had to, no, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about? We sat in my room for a while, hung out. He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update, and then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, and I just clicked the button, and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell. That...
Have you ever reset any kind of phone?
Me? I have no idea how to do that now.
Okay. Have you ever had to do an update on a phone?
I think so. On these phones, yeah. Sometimes it will ask me to just continue on with the update. And do I remember it ever asking me to erase? No.
Got it. Okay.
But he's got a Samsung. I have Apple, so I don't know if there is a difference or not. So.
All right. Now that you mentioned phones, so Maddie had a phone.
Yeah.
And explain to me what her attachment is to her phone.
Her phone is her lifeline. That's how she talks to all of her friends. That's how she talks to any of us. She's constantly on video chat with her best friend, or talking to them, or playing video games with them. But she's on her phone pretty often. What exactly would you like to know about her phone?
So, at one point you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks. It happens a lot. Like, for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Where I found her phone was on her dresser. So I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV. But for me, that's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see him or her anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stefan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom, or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically. So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay. Were you supposed to work Monday?
No, I was off.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Off. Wednesday, I was supposed to work.
And you told me you work at the front desk at Coronado Springs at Disney.
Yes.
How long have you worked there?
Less than a week.
Okay. Did you work anywhere prior to that?
I was a substitute teacher for Kelly Education.
And how long did you do that?
Maybe a month or two. Not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay. Why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
So PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety, ADHD. I think that's pretty much it with my psychiatric stuff.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what happened with...
I went on a date with a guy I had met.
Was this before Stefan or...
Yeah, this was before
Okay.
Stefan. This was way before. It was a few years before Stefan, or maybe the year before Stefan. But met a guy at a car dealership who interviewed me for a job. I turned the job down, and he said, "Oh, great, I can't date my employees." And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to take you out on a date." And I said, "Oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before." And we went out on a date. We got really drunk. We got back to his place.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
My entire day was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis?
I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready. This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school, take her to school, come back. I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again. She was my entire life. Everything I did was, my everyday was for her.
Did Stefan know about your doctor appointment on Monday? Did you tell him what your plans were on Sunday?
I'm not sure when I told him. I must have told him Sunday night, yeah, or Sunday, because there's no way I could have told him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone on him, and I didn't really talk to him that morning.
Where'd you meet him?
We both worked at a real estate office off of iDrive somewhere. They're called Eco Homes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they exist anymore though. The Eco Home Company. I think he was a real estate agent for them or did warranty work for them. And I was an appointment setter. And I didn't have that job for very long. I got fired. It was right after my PTSD incident. I couldn't hold down a job at all.
So when you and Stefan would hang out, say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out, like what would you guys do? Like where would you go? Or
Primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked there at one point. I still work there. But we go to Disney. Or we stayed home and like they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time and just watch a new movie. Like I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we watched grew up watching. I just wanted her to like have that knowledge of pop culture. So last movie we watched with her was Sister Act.
when was that?
Sunday night.
Like, would you go out to like eat anywhere, like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
The only restaurant I think we frequented a handful of times in the last year is La Mexicana. It's on off of Columbia. Honestly, living on disability and then his income at Disney, like, it wasn't enough to survive. We really didn't eat out often. We couldn't afford it.
Okay. Would you go, like, visit any parks or, other than, not Disney parks, but, like, neighborhood parks or anything like that?
No, we'd hang out right here at this lake. Maddie really liked hanging out at this lake and just drawing, sitting on one of the benches and drawing. Any other park? No, not really.
Now, what if it was just you and him? Say, going out on a date or wherever. Where would you guys typically go?
So, due to money, hardly ever went out on a date. Honestly, we hardly went out on dates. There's only one date I can think of that we went on, and that was like years ago at the beginning of our relationship, where we went to Disney Springs. I went to the Edison. I don't think we've had many date nights, just him and me. It's always been the three of us doing something, going to dinner, going to Disney Springs. We visit Disney Springs sometimes, often, well, not often, but sometimes. We really liked that restaurant, Deluxe Burger. Really good. Shane really enjoyed it there.
Now, the dynamic between you three. I know you told me that sometimes you and her would sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes the three of you would sleep in the bed. And then sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you could get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived in that apartment in Northport did she have her own bedroom, and we could afford for her to have her own room. So that was the only time she's actually had her own room. Here, she's always shared a room with me. When she was a baby, she had her own bedroom here for a few years. But once she got older and we started having roommates and all that stuff, she started just staying with me in my bedroom. Stefan, during the times that we did live with Stefan, it would be the three of us in this bed down here, down in the master bedroom. It wasn't until June of last year that we had broken up, and I said, okay, I don't want to sleep in the same bed with you. Please move upstairs. And he moved upstairs. At this point, Maddie pretty much slept with me all the time. I think I can count maybe on one hand how many times she's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone, because I wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, it doesn't look right, like, it just doesn't seem right, like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you gotta sleep with me. And I've told him that. But there were times that they'd beg for sleepovers, like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late, so I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like...
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part. It's because I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling into me or waking me up, or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep, because I just had not, with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself, and I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like, ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Okay. Did you know he's never said anything to you or anything about it?
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child, and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him, like, that was my biggest fear, and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told, never trust a man. My mom put that in my body, never trust a man. And, like, I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my, like, the logic in my head was saying, you know, he's been in your life for 7 years, nothing's happened, he hasn't shown you anything that he's weird, or that he's done or that he's interested in her, or said anything about her body, or talked to her about her in any specific way that, like, freaked me out. He's never said anything like that, or shown me any of those signs, so I thought I could trust him, that he was safe, that he was a good guy, and that he was taking care of my baby and loved her the way I loved her, but I was wrong.
Yes, because you may think he was whatever.
I know.
So I need you to, I know this is a lot, but Monday morning, I really need you to focus on his actions Monday morning.
Okay.
So you go to help him with the dog. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you or do you not see Maddie?
I do not see Maddie.
Okay. At that time, would it be normal for her to be awake, getting up, ready for school?
Yes.
Okay. And according to you, she typically does that in her bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. When you go out of your bedroom to help him with this dog...
I never left my bedroom.
You didn't?
He was in my bedroom. He walked in, the dog was on top of my bed, and he went to leash the dog on top of my bed. I got off the bed to try to help him with that, and then he said, no, go back to sleep, so I did.
Okay. He tells you that he took Maddie to school and dropped her off somewhere near the school so she could walk because she doesn't want to be seen inside of his car.
Yeah.
Okay, do you believe him?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because of the evidence, because of the photos, because of what you're telling me. Because he's clearly a liar. I want to hope my daughter's alive and out there and that she was taken. But I don't know anymore.
Well, I can be fairly confident that a stranger did not take Maddie. The only person she was with was Stefan.
Why would he go to Northport?
I don't know. I don't know what's in Northport other than his parents. Did you know he was going to Northport?
I thought when I woke up and he wasn't in the hotel, I thought he had gone to the Target Plaza right next door to the hotel we were staying at, because he likes to go shopping when he's stressed. But that's not what happened according to you guys. He actually went all the way to Northport and came back.
So when he gets stressed, he likes to go shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, did he tell you he was going shopping on Monday?
He was going to go stop at a few game shops to see if they had any Lorcana cards for sale.
Would that be considered stressful shopping? In your mind? Or your eyes?
No, because he does this often. He'll want to see what stores have what in stock to see if he can afford to buy it or not. Mm-hmm. He'll go from shop to shop. He does this. He does that.
Okay. So going back to it, he says he drops Maddie off and he sees her walking towards the school.
Yeah.
And then, did he tell you where he went after that?
He said he drove around for a little bit, killing time, and then...
Killing time for what?
For the vape shop to open.
Okay.
And then I think he told me he waited... No, he told me he waited in front of the vape shop for it to open. But I think that it didn't open. It never opened in time when it was supposed to.
Do you know what vape shop he went to?
Yes. And I know that I brought this vape shop up to one of the other detectives earlier, and I had shown them this location. But that vape shop is located in a plaza where it has an Amscot on one corner and a bank on the other corner. So if you guys could probably find video footage of if he was even there, pulling in and out. That's in Hunters Creek.
And you know for a fact this is where he went?
That's where he told me. Yeah. If it's any vape shop, it's this vape shop. And
why that one? Why that specific one?
He likes the brand, the e-smoker company. And that's where he gets all of his vape stuff. He won't go to any other vape shop around here. He goes to that one.
What time is this vape shop supposed to open? Does it say on there? Kyle?
10 a.m.
Okay. When you guys are here, are you guys assigned garage remotes for
Yes.
the? How many of those do you have?
I have one. Stefan has one. I'm not sure if Angelica or Natalie have one.
I mean, is it something you keep in your pocket, or
I keep in my car.
what about Stefan?
I think sometimes he brings it, leaves it in the car. Sometimes he brings it in with himself. It depends.
Why would he bring it inside?
I'm not sure.
Does that seem normal to you? To bring a garage remote inside the house?
No. But he said that morning he left the house. He said that morning he left the house and then returned again because he forgot the garage clicker, so he came back to get the clicker. I don't know how true that is or not.
Do you think that was odd?
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
All right. So you know you're all around.
Yeah. That's Maddie asleep in the car.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
What do you mean? She's
Do you
dead?
believe Maddie's asleep there?
Is she dead?
I don't know. We don't know where she's at.
That's an odd way for her to be laying down sleeping.
So this is at 7:30 in the morning. Ish.
It's way too early.
But you said you thought around 8 o'clock.
Because I assumed that he was getting her ready for school. So that would be the time he'd wake me up and take her. Was there there?
So just for the reporting, this is a video from within the complex that shows the front angle through the windshield.
Yes. So the next picture is going to be Maddie in the front seat of Stefan's car. You see, right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's taken at 9 o'clock near SeaWorld.
9 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go?
I'm hoping you can tell me that.
To SeaWorld?
He's near SeaWorld. That's International Drive. Does he know anybody up there?
I don't think so.
Is there a
He
special place
doesn't
he
have-
likes to go?
He doesn't have many friends like that. Like, not locally. Does he have anywhere he would like to go?
Is there a special place he likes to go?
Nothing I can think of.
Here's another picture from the dumpster in Venetian Bay of Stefan throwing away trash.
What day?
That's going to be Monday morning, probably around 7:45.
Has the dumpster has that already been taken? Have you guys been able to look at what was dumped? What was thrown out?
What do you think was in there?
Clothes? I don't know.
What makes you say clothes?
I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if it's a plastic bag full of stuff or...
Inside of that bag is Maddie's backpack, Maddie's school computer, and one of her Crocs.
Are you telling me we're looking for a body right now?
We're looking for Maddie, absolutely. 100% we're looking for her.
No. Most likely she's not alive.
I don't know. I can't answer that. I have a feeling that you and Stefan have some sort of communication on places he likes to go, or so, because some of the questions that I ask, it seems like you almost not cover up for him, but kind of defend him or have answers to some of these questions.
Because I want you to have more further insight as to why he
And I
went through
appreciate
things.
that. But you saying he's forgetful
And
all
Maddie
that
too.
stuff.
I just want you to understand, like, we're all the same. We're both we're all very forgetful. We're all very time blind. It's just part of our ADHD. I just want you to know, like...
What kind of grades does she make at school? Not great? What about her attendance record?
She's got a lot of doctor's appointments that we've gone to. So she's got a lot of absences.
Are they excused or unexcused?
I want to say for the most part excused. Every time we take her to the doctor's office, I bring a note.
Do you know that for sure, or... We're working on getting her school attendance record. I'm just wondering if you being a parent, I would hope that you would know kind of like what her... Because I know my daughter's school, that if any of them miss one period or 2 periods or something like that, they will call me and say, hey, such and such missed periods 3 or missed period 7 or something like that.
They don't do that. They send out an email and a voicemail, like an automated voicemail, saying your child was absent today from Hunter
That's
Street
what I
Middle
just said.
School. But not period 1, 2, 3. And it's not early in the morning like some other states do. It's late in the evening at 5 o'clock, or it's really late.
Totally after the fact.
Yeah, totally after. Like, it's.
Have you got a lot of those phone calls of her missing class?
I would say, yeah, I've got a good number of those voicemails and stuff. But I mean, even with excused doctor's notes, I'll still get those phone calls.
Yeah, because they miss school.
Yeah. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of those.
Okay. When you say she doesn't make good grades, what's considered not making good grades?
C under, C, D, F. She's got an IEP. She struggles with. She's got a few learning disabilities with reading, with mathematics. Her ADHD doesn't help anything at all. She's very spacey, very... Like, she could see a squirrel and completely forget, like... The teachers have told me, like, they'll tell her to do her work, and she'll be like, oh, okay, and then see something, completely get sidetracked, and then forget. And they're always on top of her.
Okay.
But, yeah, she's just... I forgot where I was going with this, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her grades and attendance.
Oh, yeah. Her grades suffer because of her ADHD for sure. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons she got an IEP is because she's technically 2 years behind with her reading level.
Okay. What grade is she in?
7th.
Okay. And I know we talked last night too, and I just kind of want to reiterate: has she had any changes in her behavior in the past few years?
I'll say yes. But it was all around where puberty hit, and like the typical teenage, the attitude, the sass, the talking back, the disrespect, the pushing boundaries. She was very much doing that. But that calmed down over the last few months. It got even better when Stefan moved out and went to Northport. Maddie and I were actually seeing a therapist together to try to like work through our issues because we were having problems communicating. So, yeah.
So, Stefan, tell me about his... I know you say he likes to play board games and all that stuff. Is he like... What else does he like to do for fun?
He's a collector. He collects...
Play sports or anything like that?
No, he collects games and hobbies. He collects... Do you know what Tamagotchis are? He collects Tamagotchis. He's got so many of those. Digimons. Lightsabers.
Is he... Does he like to go camping? Does he like to go to the beach or any of that stuff?
No. The beach makes him self-conscious because he doesn't like how his body looks. He calls himself flabby. But, no. He's not an outdoorsy person. He doesn't play sports. He doesn't like the beach. Okay, he used to... Okay, this may be irrelevant. Back a few years ago, I used to own a scooter, an electric scooter, and he owned something called a one wheel, which is like kind of like a scooter but with one big round wheel in the middle. We would take that and ride around. The Kissimmee Trail connects back here, so we'd take that to the Kissimmee Bridge, do that trail over there, come back, or also go into Shingle Creek, cross the street, across Hoagland, go behind an apartment complex, and we end up in Shingle Creek. We would ride all of that and explore all of that, wetlands and greenery back there. But we haven't done that in a while. We haven't owned scooters or electronic devices in a few years.
Okay.
Tell me about, you said there was an apartment in Northport.
Yeah.
Is that Stefan's mom's and dad's? Or you guys had a separate apartment?
We rented our own separate apartment.
Okay, where was that? Obviously Northport, but do you remember the complex name?
Let me see.
And how long ago was that?
This was back in 2020.
Okay.
I don't remember the month we moved in, but we moved out in November of 2020. We were there somewhere between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Let me see if I have there.
Was it just you three there?
Yes, it was just the three of us.
Okay. Is Northport, I've never been there. Is it a big city, small city?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the apartment we used to live in is in the town next door over. It's called Port Charlotte, Florida.
Okay.
That's a small town. Northport, even smaller, I would say. But Northport being more popular because it's attached to Sarasota County, so it has more people living in it. Charlotte County is pretty small.
Is it rural?
I mean, there was a city center, and there was a Tamiami Trail ran through it.
Okay.
So, major road, lots of businesses, lots of shops. So, I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but...
Fun fact is, Northport is the third largest city in the state of Florida, square miles wise.
Yeah, it's big. The name of the apartment complex I used to live in is called Charleston K.
Does it still, exist today? Is that still what it's called?
I'm not sure. I can Google.
And you don't know him to still own it or rent it?
No, because it was under my name. The apartment
It was under your name?
Yeah, and I'm the one who gave up the lease.
Okay.
As far as I know, it still exists.
Oh, Charleston K like that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
And you guys, so you were in that apartment for roughly 6 to 8 months, you said, right?
Yes.
Did you live in Port Charlotte or Northport for longer?
No, we immediately...
Only that time?
Only that time, we moved right back.
Okay. And what would you guys typically do around there?
We did absolutely nothing. It was during quarantine time, so we were very afraid of COVID. Very afraid of going to the store and doing anything. We stayed home, watched movies, watched a lot of Netflix, played a lot of board games.
Okay.
But that was about it. We didn't... sometimes we'd go to the beach, Venice Beach.
Yep.
But that's about it. We didn't really go anywhere.
Not much stuff outdoors during that time frame?
No, just Venice Beach.
Okay. When did you realize that he went to Northport recently?
When one of the officers told me.
Okay. So, what night was that?
Last night.
So they told you last night, or he went last night?
They told me last night that he had went earlier that morning to Northport with my car.
Okay. Were you guys staying at the hotel together?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not notice him gone? Did you sleep through it?
I slept through it. I went to sleep around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I did not wake up until 9. And that's when I noticed he was gone. And I called Stefan's dad, Chris, who was in the same hotel. And I said, "Hey, is Stefan with you?" He goes, "No, he's not with you." And I'm like, "No, he must have left and my car keys are gone." He's like, "Oh." I'm just like, maybe he ran out to get some food, or maybe he ran out to get something, or to Target. And he's like, "Okay, we'll just give him a little bit to wait."
Why didn't you call him directly?
Stefan?
Mm-hmm. You have a phone?
I don't think he had a phone.
Okay.
And I think his dad eventually did give him a phone for him to use, but that was later that morning, and I was never given that phone number either, so I never had a way to contact him.
Okay. Why do you think he would go there?
I was told he went into a storage unit. I have no freaking clue what he would be getting in a storage unit or hiding.
Do you know about the storage unit?
I have heard of the storage unit. I've always known Chris or his parents to always have storage units. They own a lot of shit. They're kind of a little bit like hoarders, but they own a lot of stuff. They have, I think, a few storage units, or they did. I think they may have condensed down to just one, maybe. But yeah, I've always known them to have storage units.
Okay. And if you were to leave from Kissimmee, what way would I go to get to Northport or Port Charlotte?
I-4 down to 75 to exit 179, I think, Toledo Blade Road.
Toledo Blade?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they live pretty close right off the highway.
Did you see him when he got back eventually?
Yes.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, where the fuck he was. I'm like, an officer's coming right now to interview us. Where the fuck have you been? This would have looked terrible if you weren't there. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I went out to go get some food, and I found a Wawa, and then I got turned around, and I got lost, and then I made it my way back here." And we're like, "Oh, okay." Not fucking thinking anything other than just believing him. I feel like so stupid because I don't know how long... He's probably been lying to me about the stupidest shit for the longest time. Like,
So he said he went out to get food.
Yeah. And he came back with he had a cup of from Wawa. He was drinking a drink.
Do you remember what time he got back?
like 11:15 a.m.
Okay, so you were up around 9ish, you just told me?
Yeah.
So from the time you were up, by the time you got back, roughly 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, and you came back with a wall cup.
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
And so during that time frame, he tells you he's been lost, got turned around, essentially.
Yeah. And he had no way.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, he didn't have a phone. He didn't know how to get back to the hotel room. That's obviously bullshit.
Did you tell him that?
No, but no, I'm speaking as from what I know right now. That's obviously bullshit. From what I was told by one of you guys, or from what I kind of calculated, he must have left the house in order for him to make this round trip to Northport and make it back by 11. He must have left 5 to 6 hours ago. So I'm just like, that makes it like 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I don't know, something like that. I'm just like, so he waited for me to fall asleep and then he left.
And you said you went to bed around what time?
3:30, 4 o'clock.
100%.
He waited for me to fall asleep and he fucking left.
Okay, I get that part. Are you 100% that you went to sleep around that time?
Oh, that's what you're asking me. I thought you were confirming me like 100% that he's right. Trying to see if there's any way I can like I saw the clock saying 3:30 when I got up to go to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for a little while and then I came back.
And he was there.
He was there and he was asleep. So I went to bed around that time. I was in the bathroom for, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes. I had terrible dinner and it just was not okay. But when I got out, he was awake, or he was asleep, I'm sorry. He actually mentioned, oh man, I woke up really early this morning, around 4, and he mentioned waking up around 4-ish, because he had really bad diarrhea, and used the restroom. He mentioned that the following day.
And just so I'm on the same thought process, what day were you guys in the hotel?
What day were we in the hotel?
Would that have been Tuesday night?
Let me see. Really late Tuesday night, so I think it was technically Wednesday morning when we checked into the hotel. It was really early. But yeah, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning.
Okay. I want to divert a little bit with Maddie. Never. Okay. Did she disclose to you about her? Has she had a period yet? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did she disclose to you about that?
Yes.
So do you know her regular
Cycle?
cycle?
I usually put it, she usually tells me when she gets it, and we put it in an app.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed it this month, or she must have not told me this month when she got it, but I have it written down when she got it back in January.
When should she have had it this month, roughly?
The beginning of the month. She got it January 1st, so it should have been around the end of February. First few days of
January,
the-
1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period, and then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom, like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool, because
Right.
she's got GI issues.
And she didn't tell you about this last cycle? odd?
Yes. Now that you're bringing it up, yes.
Would there be obvious signs when she's on her cycle? As far as like certain products she might use.
Yeah, her pads.
Mm-hmm.
The pads she would use. I would get her a box about every 2 cycles or so, because one box would last her 2 cycles. She would typically complain of her breast hurting, having terrible cramps, but I didn't hear any of that this month.
You didn't hear any of that. Okay.
But you said she's been consistent every month telling you about her period?
She's been late a few times, and she's told me, or sometimes her period has lasted way longer than normal. I'll call it irregular, because mine was irregular when I was younger too. So I just assumed just her body working through it, trying to regulate itself.
Do you find it odd that it would be a month late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those images you guys showed me with the car, is there any more?
I mean, none that I can show you right now, but yes, there's quite a few.
But we don't see where he ends up going in the car.
Where do you think he would go?
I have no idea. If I knew, I would tell you. What general direction did you say he headed in?
He's all over the place. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but this is just... We've been doing this job a very long time, as you can tell with all the gray in my beard. Your emotion when I told you you broke down like that. Do you remember that? Like instantly crying. But when you talk about her possibly missing, or God forbid deceased, that emotion changed.
What do you mean by changed?
So when I told you you broke down and started crying, okay? But then when I showed you the pictures and said that she may not be asleep in those pictures, your emotion just changed.
I don't want to believe it. I want to... In my heart, I know you're showing me what you're showing me, and you're telling me he threw away her backpack. And I want to assume the worst. I don't want to assume the worst. I want to assume that she's still alive, that she's out there, that he's hidden her somewhere. But with what you're showing me, it feels like we're looking for a body. I'm just in shock. I don't want to believe that she's dead in those images you showed me. She doesn't look like she's sleeping. Who sleeps? When you sleep in a car, you sleep with your head on the door. Her head was over here, right? don't know what you... I don't know what you want me to say or do, or... just want my daughter back.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that you were crying violently almost. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that was physical proof. That was proof of what was happening. That destroyed me. Until that picture of her asleep or not asleep in the car is not proof to me until I see a body. I have hope that she's still alive. But I don't know. With what you're telling me, I'm starting to fucking doubt everything. But I can't tell you why I broke down over one, and I'm being really serious now. I just...
So here's what's going to happen. Starting tomorrow, actually it's already started, but tomorrow there's going to be information being released between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office, is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay.
Because he's in jail right now for... Okay? He's in jail for that. But we believe he possibly has done something to Maddie. And we want to know where he would possibly go. Now, this is going to be a very difficult situation. But do you have any knowledge of what he has done with her?
I wish I could tell you, but I don't. I have no idea. I wish I knew. I wish I knew I would tell you. Having it be switched to homicide makes it official for me. Is there any more images you could show me?
Not at this time, no.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me. It's so much.
If he did something to her that led in her death, yeah, he's going to prison for life. He's probably going to prison for life.
So, like, multiple life sentences, fine. Fuck him. Oh my god.
Has he tried reaching out to you from jail?
No.
Has he tried reaching out to anybody from jail?
I don't know. I haven't talked to... I talked to his dad earlier, but, He didn't share much information. I don't even. Did I ask him? I can't recall if I asked him. If he's reached out to him. I don't remember his conversation this morning. Sorry.
All right, we are going to check on the progress that they're making inside real quick.
Did he tell you where she's at?
No. I haven't spoken to, like, since when? Like, in the hotel?
Anytime.
No, never. Like,
We need to find her.
I know. I wish I knew where to tell you guys to look. I fucking wish. Like, could you show me, like, a map of where around town he was so I could point out maybe this, maybe this, maybe this?
There's too many places.
Has he ever talked about giving Maddie medication? Like any of his medication?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so, or?
No.
Okay. Have you ever given her any of your medication?
She's got her own anxiety medication.
Do you double check her medication?
When we give it to her? Yeah. I make sure I grab the bottle or she grabs the bottle, but, like, somebody's got eyes on her, grabbing the pills and taking them. Like, it's a tag team situation. She's not allowed to take them alone. So we just make sure that we gotta watch her. That I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong bottle and accidentally take Adderall before bed, because that sounds like a terrible idea.
How long have you guys lived in Osceola County?
On and off for 12 years.
What about 7?
On and off for 6.
Okay. Would you say he's pretty familiar with Osceola County? Does he venture off?
No. I know he'll visit certain, he likes to visit gaming shops and, like, board game shops. Does he drive around aimlessly just to kill, just to drive? I don't think so. I think he goes out with plans.
Okay. Does he have close friends that live here?
In Central Florida, no.
No.
Mm-mm. The majority of his friends are in Northport, Florida.
Northport?
Mm-hmm.
Is he good with cars?
Is he good with cars?
What do you know how to change the oil, change a tire?
Supposedly he said he changed a tire on Monday and hurt himself. So I don't know how good that makes you if you hurt yourself. But yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle that you guys towed, that was his? Did it have a donut on the car?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know his car?
No, I do know his car. I just don't remember if I ever actually saw the donut or not. I never came to inspect the car. I was wondering, was that part of the story true? Did he actually get a flat tire?
Who is in St. Cloud?
I know people in St. Cloud, and he doesn't know where they live.
Does he know those same people?
He's met them before and talked to them before when they've come over here.
Okay. Where do they live in St. Cloud?
Off of Old Canoe Creek Road. Do you want me to get you an address?
Sure.
Has he ever went with you to go see him?
No.
Never.
No. I've never even gone to her house like that to hang out. She always comes to my house. So they know each other. She lives in St. Cloud, but we've never gone to St. Cloud together with her, to her house.
And how do you know her? She work with you?
Yeah, she's an old coworker from 14, 15 years ago.
From Disney?
No, we used to work at a pizzeria. That was when I was a lot younger.
Are you texting her?
Would you like me to call her or would you like to text?
No, I thought you were just going to pull it up. It's off of Old Canoe Creek?
Yeah, I don't know her exact. I don't know the exact street or address or. I want to say it's actually. Hold on. If I pull up a map. So she lives off of this road right here, Nolte Road in St. Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Nolte? That's 192 right there.
Yep.
Old Canoe Creek, Nolte. She lives around there.
Would you be it point it to me?
To which house? No.
Not the specific house, but like, is it in a neighborhood? Does she have her own land?
It is in a neighborhood. I don't remember where though. I don't know how far down. I have to drive down Nolte.
Are you familiar with Nolte?
No.
No.
No, I think I've only dropped her off at her house once.
Drop Maddie off there?
No. My friend.
Oh, your friend. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
want
sure.
to text for the address?
Yeah, let me text.
Yeah. And what was her name?
Michelle
Michelle.
Mason. Masson.
2 S's.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Stefan would know where she lives, but
No, I'm not saying that he did, but I'm just trying to see who you would know in St. Cloud.
okay.
That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only person. There might be somebody else that lives like closer to Harmony, but that's the only people I know.
What does it say?
Michelle Mason, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
What part of Nolte was it on?
I'm not gonna look it up. That is so
Stevens Plantation.
Stevens Plantation. It is gonna be. I don't know what neighborhood that is. But if you go
Well, we're going to check, see how they're going on inside. Like what we did last night, do you swear and affirm everything that you've told us today is to the best of your knowledge will help you God?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to conclude this interview. It is 6:35 p.m.